Welcome to Coach Marino's Game Day show here at Jaxx Sportsbar in Palmetto. I'm Brian Varnador, and I'm joined tonight by Ken Burton Jr., my broadcast partner, and Dave Marino. We got a couple of guests down there, Ken. So let's start maybe with you and Coach with an introduction of our guest.
Yes, Coach, introduce.
Yeah, we have our all-star outstanding kicker, Rafael Gonzalez, our strong safety, free safety, Mr. Everything, Ellison Bradley on the defensive end tonight.
We'll talk with him at halftime.
All right, well, let's start and take it through the highlights that we had from that game back. We had an open week, September 27th, a big Class 6A District 12 game with Braden River. So we're going to take it back to some of those highlights.
Well, right there, we've been trying to get our kids, to get that, inside the 20, pin them deep, and they've been doing a great job with that. And Rafael's been doing a great job. And, right there we had Jock Hughes come up with a big hit for a 2-yard gain. So defensively they came out, hit and ready to play, but so did Braden River. Again, it was a heavyweight fight between two district champions and battling for a championship. So we knew they were going to come in confident, having beaten us these last few years. So we knew we were going to get their best. But, as we always tell our kids, stand toe-to-toe with anybody we play for 48 minutes and see if they can withstand that type of heavyweight fight. You get a good job there. Tyler Wells setting the edge, forcing everything inside to our defensive line. Good pressure there by Kevion Williams, forcing the throw early. And Kevion got stronger as the game went on. Really putting pressure on the quarterback and getting 3 sacks throughout the game. Again, Braden Rivers, executing. Defensively, we're playing hard and just making plays, making them earn everything they're getting. And, right there's another example of it, getting a little bit of pressure by our defensive line, who've done an outstanding job all year. Again, more pressure. That was a great pitch and catch. And again, they're in striking distance right there. First and goal inside the 10. But then again, the defense just tightens up. That D line gets big push, gets penetration. Again, Floyd Dozier, Quentin Rue, Kevion Williams, right there, coming with inside out pressure. And quarterback really has nowhere to go with the ball. Forcing this 3rd and long situation, letting them pin their ears back again, and just under pressure couldn't get the ball in there and couldn't make the catch. So hold them to a field goal. And
17-play drive, and they only get 3 points, Coach. Great job on the defense.
You guys are very prepared on that pooch kick there, Coach.
Yeah, we had seen it all week, so we were prepared for it. Offensively, not the way you'd like to start the game, where the Laws play there. But then, Sagel Hickson, does a great job, hard runner, great blocking out on the perimeter with Curtis Thomas and Jonte Wester and Zorian Gathers. And, right there's Bub, one of our run-pass option schemes, and he does a great job, shaking and getting a little bit of yards after catch. And then again, Sagel just, taking advantage of the offensive line blocking up front, the receivers blocking out on the perimeter, and then running hard through tackles. Again, there's Bub with a big play, getting us down in the red zone. And, unfortunately, we just didn't do a good job up front there, and they were in our backfield causing the fumble. So, that was frustrating for us to have such a good drive for nothing. But then again, our defense responded well to have our backs like that and come out and play as well as they did here. Good job by Raekwon Crawford at corner. And, defensively, you get 11 hats to the ball. You see the guys just flying around. Again, we're in their backfield. Another great play by Matty Wyatt and forcing them to punt. And then, we get good field position here. And, Jonte was excited. He wanted a chance at it. But then again, still good field position. Come out, big play opportunity there. And, what a throw and catch. Curtis has just been money all year. He's so reliable. such great hands, and then hard running there by Sajel Hickson. Again, good decision. Xavier wasn't there and just tries to extend the play, but, not forcing anything this time around because he knows we have to protect the ball. Right there, probably made a bad decision throwing in the double coverage. But again, no harm, no foul. And then Rafael Gonzalez was money right there, and that was big. We needed to come away with points there to get some momentum for our guys and give our defense something to fight for, and we did. Rafael did a great job. Again, great job there setting the edge by, our defensive players. Jonte's little brother Jalen and Tyler Wells and and Ellison Bradley doing a great job coming down and filling the alleys as well.
Well, Coach, I want to say that one of the things you worry about, a lot of there's been some great news over this week about the Palmetto Tigers, and you wonder about the players and how aggressive we're going to be, or if we're reading the newspaper. I can tell one guy that went to work this week, and that's you, because your voice is absolutely barbecued here, Coach. You sound worse than I did after the Auburn game.
Well, again, our guys got the message today and yesterday that we're far away from our goal this year of being champions. This is just the next game that we have to prepare for. It's district championship week 3, and we got to get this one. And we can't look past anybody. We can't look at those rankings. Right now, our kids know that the most important poll is the poll at the end of the year, and that's what we're working towards. We're not there yet. We're at the halfway point.
That's right. It's a long way to go, Coach. Now we're going to pick up some second quarter highlights there.
Again, getting good pressure with the defensive line up front, allowing our defensive backs to stay in coverage. They get the, big penalty downfield, for Braden River. Backs them up a little bit. And then
good coverage.
Just good coverage right there, as you mentioned. Jock Hughes and Ellison Bradley on the back end. All right, again, Jonte's just excited. He was so close, but they got the hop. They got the hop they needed, and put us back a little bit. Not as good a field position as we would like, but we're ready. Start the second half here, and again, just good, hard, relentless effort by Sajel Hickson, and just shows you, how strong of a runner he is, and picks up a big gain for us, which should have been a play, with no gain.
Yeah, got a great block on that last play from Xavier Williams that gave him another 15, 16 yards. The quarterback throwing a great block, and here Butler gets hurt on this play, Coach.
Yeah, he's a warrior, though. He ends up coming back and making a big play for us later on. It just goes to show you the fight and energy and effort they give. Right there, Xavier gave LeJonte a chance. It was good coverage, and defensive back made a good play. But, it's as good as a punt. We had him down there deep. We told the defense we wanted to, keep them down here and, again, give us a chance with better field position. And so, they're doing it. They're giving us a chance. A little short there. Again, great pursuit by the defense. Ellison Bradley filling the alley right there. Jock Hughes. All right, great pressure. Unfortunately, gets behind our defensive back, Raekwon Crawford. But like we tell all our kids, it's a 48-minute fight, and sometimes you're not going to win every battle. But Raekwon battles back later on and comes up with a big interception.
Yeah,
and so
that's a great throw.
He's got a great mentality, and coaches we loved him up, keep him positive, knowing that he's going to get a chance again, and he'll get a chance to make that play. And so we get a great pass rush, forcing the O-line out of position to get a hold. And then our defense just tightens up. And, they're way behind the chains, and our defense does a great job right here on this possession. Again, putting pressure on the quarterback, forcing an errant throw, and a great break up there by Raekwon. So even though he gave up the big play, he made a big play right there defensively. And again, great pressure by Floyd Dozier and Kevion Williams and Quentin Rue. And that's really where it starts. In any football game, you got to win in the trenches. And like I said, our O-line and D-lines have done a great job. You know, Jonte gets us out of a hole there. Could have been bad. Gave us a little bit of field position as opposed to, if he hadn't got that at the 1, we would have been pinned down deep. Xavier does a good job, makes a good read, gets us some positive yards, keeps us, ahead of the chains, gets us into a second and medium, and then another tough run by Sajel Hickson.
Sagel's tough.
Puts us down in a 3rd and short, and that's where you want to be. And, you get a chance.
Great play by Zay here, Coach.
Yep, keeping his feet and, picking up that first down.
Big.
Those are the 2 stats we stress. You got 3rd down conversions and turnovers. Bad decision right there by Xavier. Wasn't there. Probably should have been a give. And so he's still learning. Great play here. Unfortunately, the referees missed it. They told us after the game that, he was not past the line of scrimmage. He was right there.
No, I didn't think so either,
Yes, I
Coach.
remember that.
Yeah,
we talked about that in the booth.
So the referees, they'll miss them. They're human. But, again, kids battled back from it. And another good hard run there by Sajel. Great blocking on the perimeter, giving them a chance. Jonte Wester, Kurt Thomas and Bub and Zorian. And then what a big throw right there. He was beat. Curtis had him beat, and he had no choice but to tackle him. So we get the pass interference penalty there. Keeps the drive going. And, we're just, we're focused on these guys finishing this drive. Good read by Xavier, just didn't get his feet set and deliver a good ball.
Looks like they call a legal shift there, Coach. And now Xavier comes out, and there's good pass rush there, and we take a big loss on
offensive line. We blew a call on a protection scheme, but again, Xavier does a good job extending the play, and again caught and still with the penalty.
So we got an interference there, Coach, and also on the penalty. I think we had the lineman downfield, so we had offsetting call there.
Right. Again, good hard running by Bub right there. Coming back from that injury, he's a warrior. So we shifted field position a little bit. We could have had the ball on our own 1, ended up getting it out to the midfield mark. Then a great punt by Raphael, and then good coverage, keeping them down deep. And plus we had a block in the back.
That's right, Coach.
So that pins them down deep. So it was almost a 90-yard change of field position, which is big. Gives our defense a chance here. 3rd and short. They convert.
Coach, you could really see in this part of the game in the second quarter as we go through the highlights here, the depth in the rotations.
Yeah.
You can see that they're slowing down, and the consistency of the Palmetto defensive line in this game.
Yeah, and that's always our goal. We try on offense and defense to have enough guys to rotate in there because, first of all, you're going to have injuries throughout a season. And we coach all our kids the same way, and we prepare them all, and we let them know that you are going to contribute. If you're suiting up and you have a helmet and shoulder pads on, you better be ready to compete and contribute, and they do. So.
And that's what I was noticing as we were broadcasting the game. It seems like they were starting to fade a little bit, and the Palmetto Tigers were actually getting stronger and look quicker and quicker as the game progressed. Now we're going to take it to halftime. We've got some special guests here, Ken.
Yes, we do. Here, let me turn this a little bit so they can see it. Every playoff contending team has to excel at special teams. And in most cases, it determines who wins a game and who loses. Palmetto High is no exception with senior kicker Rafael Gonzalez. He hit 2 crucial field goals against Braden River. So my first question for you, Rafael, every kicker has a ritual. And as we watch you kick this first field goal from 31 yards, walk us through what you do on the field, your ritual as you prepare to put the ball through the uprights.
So the first thing I do, I get on the field. I'm always focusing on the uprights. When I'm right on the field, I look right at it, focus at it, imagine the ball going through it right away. And as I'm kicking it, what I think, it's in. It's in, it's in. And keep my head down, always stay over it, and just swing my foot. And I know it's going to go in because great coaches, Robbie, always helping me out, pointing out things that I can improve on, and it helps a lot.
And this spring, you had to learn how to punt. And you continue to get better each game. We were talking prior here. I was watching you do the rugby punt in the spring, and you've kind of developed each week, getting a little bit better. So we're going to take a look at that 42-yard punt that was right at the end of the first half. Walk us through how you've had to learn to punt, which is completely different than kicking off and kicking field goals.
Yeah, so the beginning of this season, I had a rugby punt because I didn't know how to drop a ball well. And throughout the season, I've been practicing my drop privately with Robbie, with Coach Cucci, and dropping the ball has gotten a lot easier. My timing has gotten faster, and we've been working really hard on it, and I've been getting better, as you said, and I'm hoping to improve more.
Very good. I was always told you're as good as your next kick, right? And then our other guest is number 8, Ellison Bradley. We've called
number nine.
Number 9, my bad. Number 9.
His brother Curtis Thomas is number 8.
That's right.
CT Magic.
CT Magic. He's in the room.
8 and 9
I guess he gets called that at school from what we heard here prior. Okay, Ellison, you play, well, I heard strong safety, free safety, and what was the other one you were calling it before? Corner, okay. Tell us exactly what your role is on the defense.
So down safety is like a linebacker and a corner put together. Sometimes you'll be covering a wide receiver one-on-one, and sometimes you'll be filling the gap. It just depends on what defense we're running.
Okay. So you have to be an athlete, right? And we were joking earlier, you didn't think kickers were athletes. So the first play we're going to run is an example where you had to stop the run. You came in. And a lot of times on TigerVision, you don't see Ellison until the very end when he comes up and makes the play. Roll the film and tell us exactly what happened on this play.
So right here, the first thing I seen was the lineman, the big lineman coming at me. So I was thinking, chop his legs and make a dog pile and make everybody just fall over him. So that's just what I did. He ended up running me over kind of, but it stopped the play. It worked.
Yeah, a lot of times you're tackling those running backs they had were $195, 200 pounds, and real stocky. So you're tackling guys that are much heavier and fighting off defenders. The second question I had for you was you also have to defend the pass. The slot receiver, the play we're going to look at is you're covering the slot receiver, and you come up and make an open field tackle. So roll the film and let's take a look at it.
So, yeah, right here, I was just trying to not let him get to the outside, trying to make him cut it back inside because I know that's where all my help is. So,
perfect. Very good.
You know, as Ellison alluded to, you know, it's not easy to play that down safety because you do have to be physical like a linebacker, but yet athletic enough and fast enough to cover those receivers one-on-one. And, you know, Ellison's always been, natural at covering people, but he's gotten so much better at filling the run and being physical. You know, we just keep on him all the time about set that edge, come with attitude. Bring it, force everything back inside. If you can make the tackle, great, but come, fill fast, fill physically, and then if you don't make the tackle, like I said, your boys are coming to help from inside out in pursuit. And like I said, it takes a special person to play that down safety, and he's doing a great job, and he's progressing every week.
Okay, Brian, let's get on to the second half where things start happening for the Tigers.
Okay, let's talk the third quarter highlights here, and I'll walk these through with you, Coach. So we'll walk through the third quarter highlights. Here's a short pooch kick again. And excellent play there. We turned that one up, and big gain on that out to the 50, and that's going to be Jaquez Hughes, Coach.
Yeah, and that's the way we wanted to start the game. Second half, excuse me. And like I said, then, we had an opportunity there, and that's sort of, something usually does not happen. Usually we're pretty on point in the receiving core. But again, good hard running, good blocking up front, being physical, giving ourselves a chance here to throw the football, and then, good catch by Jonte, always looking to move the chains and make plays, and, he does a great job of that.
And here's where you really saw the difference, and that offensive line really started to take control of the game, Coach.
Yeah, Xavier does a great job there. They had dropped 7 into coverage, and, he saw the lane. Nobody was accounting for him, and he took advantage of it. Again, they're playing the option. They're playing Sagel, and he tucks it. So he's doing a much better job of knowing when to keep it, when to give it, when to throw it. And that's the 3 phases of our offense.
And the plays being sequential. That play, taking the ball, sets up another play for Sagel around the edge later in the game. But great kick there by Rafael Gonzalez. At that point in the game, your Palmetto Tyler's 6-3 lead.
Yep, so to gain some momentum coming out of half and at least getting 3 out of it. Not what we wanted, but at least giving our defense something to fight for. And then Rafael doing a great job putting in the end zone, making them start on the 20-yard line. And then, like I said, giving our defense something to fight for. And now you can see the depth and the conditioning. Our guys work very, very hard at conditioning. And that's where we feel we have an advantage. We play for 48 minutes. We train for 48 minutes. And so you see the difference, how many red jerseys are playing on their side of the ball now. And it's just due to our preparation in terms of our conditioning, as well as the depth that we have to rotate guys in and keep them fresh.
Good block there by Ryan Cotton, and a great run by Sagel Hickson.
Yep, again, just wearing them down. Our tempo offense puts that in them in a disadvantage.
Slip screen goes for nothing there, Coach. Really well defended.
Yep. And again, we're just a step faster. And as other teams get tired, they're a step slower.
There's Jalen Wester.
Jalen with the return.
He saw Jonte didn't want any piece of it, so he said, well, I'll take it. And Jalen's just a ball player. That's all you could say.
We had a kick out of that
They over-defended the pitch, and Xavier Williams does a great job. And picking up 5 yards, just keeping us ahead of the chains. And again, good decision there. Great blocking out on the perimeter. And just keeping the chains moving, positive plays, and again, they're a step behind, and Sagel's just such a strong runner, and they're tired.
That's right.
Braden Rivers a little bit worn out now as we get into the second half. And like I said, our kids, we have a stable of running backs, so our running backs have fresh legs going into the second half of every game, and it shows. It plays out.
Now here Rafael kicks a higher kick. It's a coverage kick, and then Robert Gavin comes over here to make a play, and that's intentional. Kick that higher kick.
And again, that's part of our special teams hit squad award that we give out. And if anybody makes a tackle inside the 20, so Rafael could kick it in the end zone every time, but a lot of times he'll decide to put it on the 1 or 2 to give our kids, our kids a chance to go down there and make a big play.
So they had to start from the 14 or 15-yard line. Now here they got a big play out there to Gerker. He's a nice receiver out there, but look at Jaquez Hughes closing the gap.
Yep, and Jax's always going to keep coming. He's got a high motor. He's a great kid, and give us another chance. Gives our defense another chance, and they stiffen. Like I said, you're not going to totally shut down any opponent. I mean, that's not realistic in the game of football. So, the other team's going to have positive plays. You just have to continue to fight and work through it and rebound from it.
There's that safety out there turning them into the inside as you want to see.
You got to set the edge. You got to fill the alley, set the edge for us. And again, good coverage right there. Great coverage and a big play by Raekwon Crawford. And we talked about that earlier on. He got beat, but he made a breakup, and then he had another interception. And then here's the warrior.
Oh yeah,
Adravian Butler. Getting banged up a little bit in the first half, and then to be able to make this 87-yard touchdown run with a great effort by the rest of the receivers, giving him an escort, making sure he gets in. And, again, just a credit to the kids, their heart, their passion, their fight. And
great play by Curtis Thomas not to do anything silly there.
So that gives us a little bit of breathing room, You know, and our defense now really has something to fight for. And so they come out, you know, and we told them, hey, get us the ball back and let's go finish this the right way. And they do. They really stiffen. The D-line is just getting big push up the middle, you know, playing on their side of the line of scrimmage. So our defense doing a great job, getting pressure on the quarterback, flushing them. Quarterback does a great job keeping his eyes downfield and moving the chains for them. So
well, that was the end of the third quarter. You know, the Tigers are starting to really take command. We're seeing that the conditioning and the depth of the Palmetto Tigers just was very evident at that point. So now, Coach, we're going to go through the fourth quarter highlights here, and really exciting fourth quarter.
Again, good pressure there, flushes the quarterback, and defensively we're just flying around, you know, giving ourselves a chance for no gain there, very little gain. Then we get pressure again, and it's just the difference between our conditioning coming in there for a 2-yard loss is the difference. And our defense, credit to how hard they work in practice.
This is a great return.
Yep.
Switch that ball over. Jonte Wester.
Yeah, he's just an explosive athlete, and he gives us a chance. He flips field position right there.
And he runs through them this year. He doesn't just shake them. He
instead of
runs
starting
through
on
those
our own
tackles.
20, and then, you know, this was a halftime adjustment. It was a scheme that, you know, offense coordinator and I, Coach Ty, had talked about a month ago. And, you know, he did a great job dialing it up right there at that point, giving our explosive playmaker, LeJonte Wester, a chance to make a big play and get that spark. And then Kevion Williams, you know, we get into that personnel, that 11 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers.
Wide open.
Yeah, it's tough. It extends the gap to run through, gives you an extra gap to run through, and then the play action off it is just something that's very difficult to stop for defenses. And so, you know, we're fortunate. We're fortunate to have great players like Kevion Williams and Quentin Rue, not only defensively but on offense as well. So that extends the lead a little bit for us and gives us a little bit of breathing room. And then, you know, again, our kickoff team, that special teams hit squad, getting down there, pinning them inside the 20, and field position is crucial here at this point in the game. And offensively and defensively, it mattered. It was definitely a key factor in the outcome. Again, defensively, pressure on the quarterback, great coverage. They really had nowhere to go with the ball. And again, here, just awesome coverage. 2 guys there in the area. And again, giving our offense the chance to really put this thing away. And so we get great field position here.
Jonte never got a good bounce that night, did he, Coach?
Yeah, well, but like I said, that's starting the ball on their 42, you know, going in.
That's work.
That's what you want. That's what you ask for. You can't ask for anything more than that. So offensively, we put the challenge to them. We got to go finish these drives. You know, if you get the gift, you know, wrapped right for you. And again, our offensive line's getting pushed. And now, you know, we're just finding run lanes now, which eventually sets up these play action passes. And again, you know, they had good coverage downfield, but Xavier was smart not to force it, not to turn it over right there.
Keep the clock going.
And we took the sack, but come back and, man, hard running again by Sajel Hickson and getting the first down and moving the chains. And then again, great blocking on the perimeter. You know, unfortunately, he fumbles, but great effort by Zorian Geathers
hustles
to get down there. Great hustle to keep the drive going. And then bad decision right here by Xavier. First, it was a bad read. He should have given it. And, you know, he made a bad play into a worse play by not having good ball security. So we should have went up 34-3 right there, but unfortunately, you know, we just, you know, poor ball security right there. We got to do a better job of that. We can't afford to make those mistakes. But again, defensively, they're stout, not giving much, and again, forcing them to have a long field to drive. You know, we turned it over obviously inside the 10, so that's tough sledding. When you're down 27-3 and you're looking at a 90-yard drive in the fourth quarter, especially when you're getting worn out and our defense is still fresh.
Fresh.
Just pinning their ears back. So, again, our defense is doing a great job just shutting the door and giving our offense a chance to really ride it out, late in the game here. Good pressure again.
They never quit.
No, absolutely not. We knew they wouldn't.
Yeah, that was really a good team with a good scheme, good plan.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Palmetto Tigers hanging on. And at this point, that's the end of the scoring here, Coach. And Palmetto Tiger defense, was up to the task.
Yeah, and our defense was so disciplined all night long. And that was the first time we had jumped all night.
Yes.
They try it. That's part of Braden River's scheme. They do it often. And like I said, the way our kids played, so disciplined, and only jumping off sides one time.
They're good at it.
Again, it's a credit to their work ethic, our defense, and how they approach every day in practice. And so, again, the defense gives us the ball back, and we're able to, grind it out to where we don't have to give them another chance. And that's big. You call it a 4-minute offense where you're just trying to get a couple first downs. Obviously the main thing is ball security, so our backs are limited in the moves they're going to make. It's really just hard-nosed, football, and our running backs do a great job. Our O-line does a great job getting push to get the first down to where we can eventually get into victory formation, which is, the best formation in football. And so, the fact that we never gave it back to Braden River to give them any more opportunity, again, just shows you how far we've come as a program and where we are as a team this year. And couldn't be more proud of the kids, the way they approach their business day to day. And we're still working every day. We're still working to get better.
Yeah, and there's a ways to go here. We got a little bit of games in front of us, and then we really brings us to the upcoming game here, Ken.
Yeah, let's move on to this week's opponent. We're back in the district. We're playing those Fighting Tarpons from Charlotte, road game. Brian's got the first couple of questions.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect timing for us to have the open week after that big district win. What do you want to accomplish with the time off? What did you accomplish during this time off? Claire's getting a little bit more healthy to prepare you for the home stretch for the season.
Well, different schemes that you're looking at building upon from what you've already been running so far this season. So offensively, things that you've been running, you want to add some more wrinkles into the offensive game plan. And you have that luxury. You have those extra practices to experiment with some things. And so we did that. We want to continue to evaluate kids because it's a long run. If our goal is to win a district championship, a regional championship, and then ultimately a state championship, you're looking at 9 more weeks of the season. So, at some point you're going to have more injuries along the way. And so that's really what we wanted to approach the bye week with, was an intensity for those kids to show that they can play at a high level and that they can fill in for some of our starters and give us even more depth. So that was the goal, and we accomplished it. It was a good bye week. We stayed healthy throughout the bye week. We didn't have any injuries as you go and you prepare and you ratchet up the intensity a little bit, trying to experiment with new schemes because you'd like to do it full speed in full game, live game situations, so you get a real true test of whether it's going to work or what adjustments you need to make within the scheme. So it was a great bye week, and now we're looking forward to this district championship showdown with Charlotte.
Yeah, and again, Coach, it's like you've been eating sandpaper sandwiches and drinking gravel shakes. So I can tell during the open week, this is a week you didn't take off.
We weren't out golfing. I can assure you that.
All right.
Our kids were focused. Our coaches were focused, and we're hungry. The kids are hungry. The coaches are hungry, and we're not letting our foot off this gas pedal.
All right, before I turn it over to Ken, we're going to be on the road, and we want to challenge all those Palmetto Tiger fans to make sure that you make that 1 hour and 9-minute drive down to Charlotte to the Fish Bowl in Punta Gorda to watch us play those Charlotte Fighting Tarpons. They're 5-1, and that's a group that's given us fits over the past years. Binky Waldrop has been the head coach for over 20 years down there. They they have a championship program out there. They've been to a lot of playoffs games, and they know what to do, and they are so well respected by us and others around the state. Coach, what should we expect to see out of them on Friday night?
Well, as you mentioned, Binky's got a great program down there, perennial powerhouse program, district, regional championship program, and he does a great job preparing his kids. They're going to play hard. They're strong, physical kids, and we're going to get their best effort as everyone on our schedule. Every week is important. Every week is crucial because of the new power rankings. So, every week is a championship week, but especially this week being a district game. And so if you want to win the district championship, you got to go win this next one. And they're thinking the same way. They only have one loss in the district. So, they're going to be ready. They're going to be hungry. They feel like if they can knock us off, us, them, and Braden River would all have one loss in the district and puts them right back into contention for a championship. So we know they're going to bring their best effort, and our kids are going to have to match that.
All right, Ken, let's talk. And, some big news here this week, and we hope none of the student athletes are reading any of the news. But for, us citizens of Palmetto, the city of Palmetto, we're extremely proud of those Tigers. Talk to us about that, Ken.
Okay, the FHSAA coach released the first ratings percentage index. You've alluded to it a little bit. The regional rankings earlier today. And the Tigers, I thought they would be ranked at the top of the region for sure with our schedule and being undefeated, but we were ranked number 1 in the state of Florida, regardless of size. This determines, who the at-large teams are going to be in the playoffs. It determines who is going to host home games week 2 through week 4. So, as the head coach, what do you do with something like that? This rarely happens.
Sometimes you go to the bathroom and you do a number 2, and that's what you do with that ranking, because with all due respect, I'm happy for Palmetto. I love Palmetto. It's a great community, and I'm glad Palmetto's getting the recognition it deserves, but it's the first ranking.
Yes.
And things are going to change. Charlotte this week, another district week the week after, another district week for some teams. And so there's a lot going to change over these next 4 weeks. And so, you've seen it at the college level. You've seen it in the NFL, all the prognosticators and the predictions. Everybody had the Chiefs, anointed the Super Bowl champs. Well, the Indianapolis Colts had a little something to say about that this past weekend. And you see it at every level. So our kids understand what it is. We appreciate the recognition, but that's not the one poll we're looking at. We're looking at the poll in December.
Very good. And then lastly, we're on the home stretch now. So we went out. We're going to win the district. So, but how do you find balance of winning out, but then you want to possibly rest your players, build some depth, avoid any unnecessary injuries? How do you do that to finish out the season?
Well, football's a physical game. Football's a game of will. And, yes, there is skill involved. There's no doubt about that. But, you have to stay physical. You have to stay sharp throughout the season. You can't just shut it down. Even in the NFL, it's negotiated in their collective bargaining agreement. You got to hit. You got to go against yourselves. And, and that's always the challenge. How much live contact do you do within your own team, week to week, throughout the week? But then again, you have to do it. It is what it is. And, and if God forbid we were to have an injury and it happened in practice, then of course people are going to second guess me. And then, if you don't do any live contact and you go out and you're missing tackles and you're not in your right fit and you're not in your right gap, then you're rusty. And then people are going to question me, well, why aren't you hitting more? You used to be a dominant physical team, and now you guys look soft. And so it's a challenge. But I've been in this business a long time, and I feel I have the experience along with our staff to make those decisions, and we'll make the right decisions to hopefully stay healthy and stay sharp throughout the rest of this season.
Well, Coach, continued success, and I'll turn it over to Brian to close us out.
Yeah, really, Coach, thinking about the experts that, are out there that talk about, how poorly you're coached or what you should have, would have, could have done. Generally, those folks really haven't ever coached. So
Yes,
I can tell you that. But we want to thank everybody for watching the Coach Marino Coaches Show here at Jaxx Sportsbar. Here we had the Palmetto Tiger highlights here at TigerVision is presented by Conley Buick GMC. And we want to see you this Friday night, Tiger fans. Make that trip. It's going to be a fun one down there in Charlotte. Come and be ready and support those fantastic Palmetto Tigers. Palmetto Tigers, one town, one team. Go Tigers.
Yes, sir.
All right.